Okay, so now we have a new modal. We've got our confirm dialog and we've got a modal that we can display in our application. And we'll go back to our confirm service, and what we'll do is we'll replace this placeholder text with our confirmation dialog components. Great, now we can show this particular modal, and because we're in a service, we'll be able to use this from anywhere. That's great, but how do we get the result from this modal? When a user clicks on yes or no, we want to be able to get true or false returned from this. And what we can use for this is inside the BS modal ref. There's a property called onHidden and onHide, and these emit events when the modal behind the ref finishes hiding or starts hiding. And from here we can get the result. But in order to get the result, we have to subscribe to it. But that doesn't help us return what we need to from the service. We need to do something else. And what we want to return from this particular method, and I'll just specify it here to be explicit, is we want to return an observable of a Boolean. And then our components, or whatever it is that uses this particular confirm dialog, can then subscribe to get the result out of it. So we need to return an observable from a subscription. When we subscribe to something, we get a subscription back, but we need to return that as an observable. So what I'm going to do to help with this, I'm going to create a private method below this one called getResult. And what we need to do here is we need to return an observer. We're going to observe something inside what we're getting here. And we'll add an arrow, and then we can say const subscription, as this is what we're going to be getting from the modal. And we'll say this.bs modal ref, and we're going to access the onHidden. So as soon as the modal closes, then we're going to get something. And what we need to do here is subscribe to this, and we're going to be subscribing to the result, but we're not going to get it passed in our next inside this subscription. What we need to do is say observer.next, and we're setting up our own observable here that we're returning. So we're giving it an observer.next, and we're going to say this.bsmodalref.content and .result, and then we just specify an observer.complete. And then underneath this, what we need to do is return, and we need to give it an unsubscribe method. So we'll say unsubscribe, and we'll say subscription.unsubscribe. And what we can do then inside our confirm is we can say that we want to return a new observable of type Boolean, and we're going to say this.getResult, and everything's happy. Our method is happy, and our result is going to give us something that we can pass as an observable so that we can use this inside our components. So let's go ahead to the prevent unsaved changes guard. And what we can do inside here is we'll need to bring in our modal service first of all. So we'll add a constructor, and we're going to say private and confirm service, and we'll say confirm service, and we need to close it off with empty curly brackets. And what we can do, instead of returning the JavaScript confirm, we can replace this and say return this.confirm service and confirm. And we're not returning a Boolean now, this is a observable, so we'll change this to observable of Boolean. Now we still want to return a Boolean from this, because if the form is not dirty, then we just want to return true. We don't need a Boolean of true for this, we just simply want to return true so that they can move on to a different component. So what we'll also do, and the technical term for this is a union type, we'll also return a Boolean. So the error goes away, and we can either return an observable or a Boolean from this particular method. Now because we're inside a root guard here, then even though we're returning an observable from our confirm method, because we're inside a root guard, this is automatically going to subscribe for us. So let's take a look and see if this works. And let's try and edit Lisa's profile again. And I'll just add some text. And if I try and go somewhere else, then we're going to get our confirmation prompt. And if I click cancel, I stay on a component. But if I click on OK, then we move to the next component. What we can also do with this, because we didn't need to subscribe to this because we're inside a root guard, and the root guard is automatically going to subscribe for us. So how do we use this in another place? And let's go to our messages and our message component.ts, and we've got a delete method in here. And what we could do is add a confirmation before somebody's allowed to delete a message. And the way that we can use this is we'll need to bring in our confirm service here as well. So we'll say private confirm service, and we'll say confirm service. And then what we can do is say this.confirm service and confirm, and let's give it a title this time of confirm delete message. And then we can say for the message something like this cannot be undone, etc. And we could change the button text as well if we wanted as well. And then what we can do is we can subscribe to the result. And inside here what we can do is say if result, and result is going to be true or false, then we can cut this and paste it inside. And this way then, we're ensuring that we give them a confirmation before they're allowed to delete their message. And if we go and take a look at the browser and take a look at messages, and I go to Lisa's outbox, then what we'll find if I delete a message, we get the prompt and we see our title and we see this cannot be undone. And if I click cancel, nothing happens. If I click delete and click OK, then the message gets deleted. And we've now got a confirmation prompt that we can use from anywhere in our application. And what we'll take a look at next, we'll stick with a theme of messages, and we're going to tidy up our member message component.